So you've totally nailed the basics of prompting. You get it. To get a good answer, you've got to be clear, you've got to be specific. But what happens when a simple instruction just doesn't cut it? Well, today we're making the leap from just giving the AI orders to actually guiding how it thinks.
You've been there, right? You have a really complex problem. Maybe you're trying to design a system or map out a whole business strategy, and the AI's answer is just so generic. I mean, it's technically correct, sure, but it has no depth, no real reasoning. That's the wall. In this explainer, we're giving you the tools to smash right through it.
Okay, let's get into it. We are fundamentally shifting our perspective here. The goal isn't just to get an answer anymore. The goal is to shape the process the AI uses to get to that answer. This, right here, is where real expertise starts to kick in. Think of it like this. All that work you did on clarity and specificity, that's the solid foundation you've already built. It's absolutely essential. Now, we're just building the next story on top of that foundation. So this isn't about replacing those skills. It's about making them even more powerful with a much more sophisticated approach. And this slide just illustrates the core idea perfectly. See, instructing is all about giving the AI a destination. Guiding its reasoning, on the other hand, is about giving it a map and a compass. When you just give it a destination, you're kind of just hoping it finds the best route. But when you guide it, you make sure that the journey itself is logical, it's considered, and it ultimately leads to a way, way better outcome. So how do we actually start guiding? Well, our first hands-on technique basically forces the AI to slow down and literally show its work. This is all about enforcing a logical, step-by-step progression from the problem all the way to the solution. It's a technique called chain of thought prompting, or COT for short. And the concept is incredibly powerful, but it's also really simple to use. Instead of just asking for the final answer, you prompt the AI to outline its thinking process. A lot of the time, just adding a simple phrase like, "let's think step by step," is all it takes to unlock a much more reasoned response. Now, this is where it gets really interesting, seeing caught in action. So the goal was to design a rainwater collection system. A basic prompt just got a generic recommendation. Use a 55-gallon barrel. I mean, it's fine, but not super helpful, right? But the advanced prompt, using chain of thought, asked the AI to first calculate the roof area, then estimate the potential water yield, and only then recommend a size. And the result? A really thoughtful recommendation that explained the why behind the size and even threw in crucial details like overflow management. See the difference? So, here's the crucial takeaway. Chain of thought is your go-to tool when there is a logical path to a correct answer. Think math problems, project planning, or debugging code. It forces the AI to climb that ladder of logic, one rung at a time. Just keep in mind that this rigid structure isn't really ideal for purely creative tasks, where you want an intuitive leap, not a logical proof. Okay, so if chain of thought is about carefully following a single logical path, our next technique is all about strategy. It's about exploring multiple paths at the same time to find the absolute most promising one. This one's called Tree of Thought, or TOT. And I want you to imagine you're a general planning a campaign. You don't just consider one plan, right? You explore several. That's TOT in a nutshell. You ask the AI to generate a few distinct options, evaluate each of them against specific criteria that you provide, and then pull it all together into a final recommendation based on that evaluation. And this example with business names just shows it perfectly. Instead of just saying, "give me names for a wood furniture business," the prompt asked it to explore 3 different strategic directions or branches of the tree. One focused on salvaged materials, one on natural themes, and one on craftsmanship. And for each of those branches, it generated names and, here's the key part, it evaluated them on things like memorability and relevance. So the output wasn't just a list, it was a strategic analysis of branding options. And here's the practical takeaway for Tree of Thought. Its power is completely dependent on your evaluation criteria. I mean, if you provide vague criteria like, "is it good?" you're going to get a weak analysis. But if you provide clear, specific criteria that are relevant to your goals like appeal to first-time homebuyers or ease of pronunciation, that's when you unlock its true strategic potential. So let's wrap this all up. You now have 2 powerful, really practical strategies to move way beyond basic prompts and start tackling truly complex challenges. These are the tools of an expert. And here is your simple cheat sheet.
Use chain of thought for problems that have a logical step-by-step solution. It's for finding the right answer. Use tree of thought for problems that are more strategic or creative, where you need to explore and compare a bunch of options. It's for finding the best approach. The big picture here is that you've learned to stop being just an operator and start being a director. By guiding the AI's reasoning with these techniques, you are literally collaborating on the thought process itself. And that is the absolute key to unlocking a whole new level of nuanced, strategic, and genuinely useful output. So you've mastered how to talk to the model, but what about the model itself? In our next explainer, we are going under the hood. We're going to look at the different AI models out there and the key parameters you can actually adjust for even finer control over your results. It's the next big piece of the puzzle, and trust me, you are not going to want to miss it.